Good morning. We're back with you for another session on scanning, spelled Sqanning, which is the incremental release of muscular tension to achieve a deep state of physical, emotional, and mental calm. Today is going to be what I call a pared down session. We're just going to practice the technique. We're going to try to avoid, wherever possible, any unnecessary explanations or analogies or metaphors. We're just going to practice the technique. So if you'd like to give it a shot, I'm happy to have you join us. Here we go. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. And deep breath. Stillness and silence. Paying attention to any changes that you experience over the course of this session. It's very important that you recognize and acknowledge whatever changes occur as you're practicing scanning. Again, the incremental release of muscular tension to achieve a deep state of physical, emotional, and mental calm. We're going to move through the muscular zones. We're going to start with the face. On my count, release all the tension you can in your face. 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. And again, the face, 3, 2, 1, and release. Noting again how that felt. We're basically moving ourselves from a state of contraction into a state of expansion, using the muscles to bring our entire being into a more expanded, permeable, open, relaxed state. The face, 3, 2, 1, and release. Moving on to zone 2, the top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. On the count, you're focusing your attention onto that zone, that muscular zone, just to take a note of how it's feeling, how much tension there is. On the snap, releasing all energy to those muscles, letting them slacken, even if it's just a tiny amount. This is an incremental process, and it's cumulative. So even the smallest drops of water will fill a bucket eventually. Top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. Zone 3 is the back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, the back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. You're developing the ability, the skill, to release muscular tension on demand. It's important that you do it in incremental amounts because you can feel small changes, and they are cumulative. So the more you cycle through the body, the more expanded, the more relaxed your musculature will become. Again, the back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Do the first 3, the face, 3, 2, 1, and release. Top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. If you have thoughts racing through your mind all the time, or now as we're working, remember that as you release muscular tension, you cannot release a muscle and think a thought, which is contraction, forming a thought, releasing a muscle. You can't contract and expand at the same time. As we move through this process, you'll notice your mind will start to still and become more quiet as you move into a more expanded, non-thinking, feeling state. Zone 4 is the neck, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, the neck, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. Zone 5 is the shoulders, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Breaths are expansive by nature, again contributing to this movement from a contracted state into an expanded state. Stillness is expansive by nature. It's the opposite of action, which is doing, which is a contraction of bringing together of ideas, concepts, moving towards a goal. We're doing the opposite. We're doing nothing. The shoulders, 3, 2, 1, and release. Moving through all of the first 5, the face, 3, 2, 1, and release. The top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. The back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and the neck, 3, 2, 1, and release. The shoulders, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. As you become more expanded, the less goal-oriented, result-oriented you will become. You will stop worrying about whether this is working or not, or what the objective is. You will simply come into a state of being and nothingness where you just exist. You're letting go of all the things you're holding on to, the contractions, and moving into an expanded, permeable, open, accepting state. Time will lose its importance because there will be no need to measure time. You will just exist in the state of now. So, again, looking for changes as you move from a contracted to expanded state. Start to note how you're thinking less, you're concerned less with the value or lack thereof of what you're doing or not doing. You're simply accepting of a state of being. You'll become more still, more empty. Zone 6 is the chest, stomach, front of the waist. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath. Taking note of the changes. Zone 7 is down the back and into the pelvic region. 3, 2, 1, and release. 3, 2, 1, and release. 3, 2, 1, the pelvis, and release. One of the main phenomena you begin to experience in scanning is an awareness of your body. We tend to detach from awareness of our body. We become detached, which is why we feel so empty. As you start to scan, you start to experience your body, which may be frightening, scary, unpleasant, or wonderful, depending. And you gain a capacity to control your state of being, moving it from a contracted to an expanded state through the release of muscular tension. That's all we're doing, releasing muscular tension. Zone 8, the final zone, down the legs, across the knees, and into the feet. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, the feet. 3, 2, 1, and release. If you feel tingling, if you feel throbbing, it's a sign that you are expanding. The blood vessels are opening. The nerves are awakening. You're beginning to feel sensations throughout your body. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. Oddly, for all the intricacies of this technique, the most valuable aspect to this technique might be the stillness and silence. Doing nothing brings you into a state of nothingness. For some, that's the most challenging aspect of this technique, doing nothing, not moving. Contraction, moving, doing, expansion, stillness, emptiness, silence. So we're just moving ourselves into a more expanded state until we reach a state of balance, centered. So we've cycled once through the body. Now we're going to start again. And that's all you'll do with this technique, is just cycle through, depending on how much time you have, 1, 2, 4, 10, 20 times. Each time you cycle through, you move the dial. And it's important to pay attention to those changes. It's always good to encourage ourselves. It's nice to notice those changes. Keep a journal if you wish, how many minutes, hours a day you scan, so that you become better and better at it. We're going to start at the top again. Take a deep breath. Stillness and silence. Releasing muscular tension in zone 1, the face, 3, 2, 1, and release. You'll see a slouching. If you look in the mirror, you can actually see the change. 3, 2, 1, and release. We're going from this, squeeze your hands together, 3, 2, 1, to this. That is scanning. 3, 2, 1, and release. That's all we're doing. The face, 3, 2, 1, and release. Zone 2, the top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Zone 3, the back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. If you can imagine on the contraction-expansion continuum, when you're completely contracted, everything matters. When you are completely expanded, nothing matters. So of course you can't live here because things matter in life. You have to deal with things. But when you bring yourself into that state, even momentarily, you bring yourself into balance. And that's what you want. So again, as you become more expanded, you'll become less concerned with how much time you've spent scanning, what the results were. You'll be less impatient. You'll be more accepting. You'll come to a place of nothingness where literally nothing matters. And that empty space is where you are in a simple place of existence. That's an expanded state. So if you feel anxious or concerned about letting go, which is what you're doing with expansion, understand that that's your contractive self trying to stay contracted, and you're moving into this expanded state, which is different and valuable and feels wonderful, and it's freeing, and it's relaxing, and it's healthy, and it clears your mind, and it heals your body. Zone 4 is the neck, 3, 2, 1, and release. All we're doing is releasing muscular tension. That is the entire technique. That is scanning. Zone 4, 3, 2, 1, the neck, and release. Deep breath. Again, if you take nothing away from this technique but the value of stillness and silence, you will have achieved quite a bit. Stillness and silence, as I said, is expansive. And if the obstacle to stillness and silence is impatience and thoughts, that's where the muscular release comes in. By releasing muscular tension, you're countering those contractive processes. It's the antidote to contraction is expansion. When you are expanding, you are not contracting. You can't do both at the same time. You can't make a fist and release that fist at the same time. So if you find yourself struggling with stillness and silence, as I said, the technique, all scanning is, that is the technique of scanning, is release muscular tension incrementally and cumulatively. The trick to scanning is being patient, understanding that it might take several cycles to move the dial, and discipline, staying with it. Those are the only two things required of you to practice scanning. The actual technique, you've learned it. 3, 2, 1, release. You know how to scan. Now you need to stay with it. Zone 4, the neck. 3, 2, 1, and release. And it's a particular feeling that comes with scanning. The release of muscular tension carries with it a whole a magnitude of feelings. pay attention to those so you're familiar what it feels like to expand, to let go, to scan, so that you can revisit it with a familiarity that allows you to succeed. Zone 4, the neck, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. And if you find yourself saying, this didn't work, I didn't feel any different, it was frustrating, it was hard, I feel a little better maybe, that little better is that incremental change you're looking for. And again, all you want to do is continue to add to that. Keep taking droppers full of water and drop by drop filling that bucket with expansion. And soon you will have a bucket full of water. So you have to be patient and you have to be disciplined. Zone 5, the shoulders, let them drop. 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, the shoulders, 3, 2, 1, and let them drop. Release. If you feel yourself slouching in your seat, that's good. Unlike a lot of practices where posture is so important, there's a time for posture and there's a time for not holding onto your posture, letting go, just being this mass of flesh and bone. Just let it be, just be. So if you sink into your seat, that's good. Zone 6, the chest, stomach, front of the waist, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. The contradiction of these sessions is that I'm speaking. Words, thoughts are a contraction, forming thoughts. The ideal scanning session, which you will practice on your own and which I practice on my own, is in complete silence. But for purposes of instruction, words are necessary to convey the information, but understanding that it's somewhat of a contradiction. An expanded place is a silent place, and you'll begin to recognize that as you practice. Zone 7, down the back, past the waist and into the pelvis. 3, 2, 1, and unclench. And again, release the muscular tension in the pelvis. 3, 2, 1, and release. One more time, the pelvis. 3, 2, 1, and release. Zone 8, down the legs, across the knees, and into the feet. 3, 2, 1, and release. 3, 2, 1, the feet, and release. Pay very close attention to the changes you feel, that you experience in every part of your body, every one of the muscular zones. Notice the shift. Acknowledge that you did that. You created that release of muscular tension. You have the ability, the capability, the power to do that. One of the wonderful things about scanning is it empowers you to take control of your state of being, so that you don't have to take a drink or smoke a joint or go to a masseuse. You can actually make that change yourself. And we crave it, the expanded state, because it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's empty, it's insightful, it's open, it's flexible, it's agreeable, it's pleasant. So we all want that, and through scanning you can achieve that through the simple release of muscular tension. Again, the feet, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Think about how many times a day you actually sit in stillness and silence, not watching TV, not looking at your phone or going on the internet, not listening to music, doing absolutely nothing. And you'll recognize how contracted we tend to be. We rarely take the time or moments to come into a more expanded state. And that's because of habit. We're conditioned to believe that contraction is the way to live our lives, and to a large extent it is. This is how we get things done. But there's also a place for our life, in our lives, for expansion, a place where we do nothing. And we're trying to familiarize ourselves with that feeling and to recognize the value of that state of being. From that place of emptiness, you can achieve anything because everything's available to you. There are no gates, there are no blocks, there's no limitations, There's no structures. You can just move through life freely. So it's a wonderful and inspiring place to move into, the expanded state. So experiment with it. One more time, and then we'll call it a day. And the face, 3, 2, 1, and release. Top of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Back of the head, 3, 2, 1, and release. Zone 4, the neck, 3, 2, 1, and release. Zone 5, the shoulders, let them drop, 3, 2, 1, and release. Zone 6, chest, stomach, front of the waist, 3, 2, 1, and release. Down the back and into the pelvis, 3, 2, 1, and release. And the final zone, down the legs, across the knees, and into the feet, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath. Stillness and silence. Deep breath. And that's it for today. Sqanning, the incremental release of muscular tension to achieve a deep state of physical, emotional, and mental calm. Experiment with it, and see what it does for you. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.